My name is Yardena and I work in the school 6 years already. I think what we do different is that we go all the way with trusting the human beings or children in this case. Really trust them to know what's good for them. We don't think, you can play it very well, but we will try to interest them in something or to ask them, did you learn something? We really leave them completely free. My son, for example, he's finishing school this year, he's 18. He's been here 8 years and he's never been to any lesson, or he hasn't done, he's never gone to a lesson and sat in class and had books or anything, but he knows more maybe or just as much as anybody else in his age in school, and much more than other children in other places, or he knows what he wants to do, he's done his thing, and I feel I've seen other schools and democratic schools. There's something that from outside I feel that we have in common, that we really, the children, they look you in the eye, they talk with you, you feel it immediately, that they're not oppressed, they are sure of themselves. But when we have had more conversations with children, because we go to conferences and we meet them and we really enjoy these meetings, I feel that that still, at some point, the adults, the teachers, they take a bit the responsibility from them, or they make them feel that still it would be good if an adult would maybe talk to them every few days and see what they're doing, and somehow look over what they're learning, what they're not learning, are they doing what they said they would do. They have some kind of, how do you call it, control, or no, control is not the word, but they still feel that they need the adults' advice all the time, even if they don't ask for it. And I feel that we go all the way to the end. I mean, I don't come to a child who is coming, let's say, a whole year now to school. He comes, he goes up to this quiet floor, he sits there and he reads a book quietly. I say to him, good morning, how are you? At the end of the day, I also say sometimes, how was your day? That's it, I don't suggest to him, I don't worry about him. I really know that his own mechanism, I don't know how to say, will do the right thing. When he will say, I'm going out of this quiet room and I'm going to the other children, or I'm going to study now, or I'm going to do something, it will come if he needs, and if he needs 10 years like this, I'm sure it's the best thing for him. And I think for me it's very important to work like this with children, because I feel the other thing, it's like you're saying to them, I trust you, but you are showing them something else. It's like if I say, if I trust you, it's 100%, there's not I trust you 90%. 90% it's like everything is gone. Like if you say to your wife, I don't know, I trust you, but still I want to check, once a week where you are going. Then everything is gone. Then all the trust is not really. And I think this is what we do. It means that children go through all kinds of phases here. Very strong, sometimes very difficult times. Sometimes they really get very bored, they really say, I'm not doing anything here. Nothing is worth, I'm just wasting my time, And they say it as if they're accusing me, what is this place? It's just a waste of time. And I say, but it's your time, I'm not wasting my time. I'm here when you want it, So I think this is a sort of, it's a little difference, but it makes for parents, for example, it's a big difference. For parents, this school is very difficult. Also, you see that the other democratic schools in Israel get very big, and this one, it's like slowly getting bigger, because for a parent to know that the child could be walking around, for days and weeks, and nobody will come and say, maybe you should learn some mathematics or something. It's very scary. It's really, when it's your child, it's not easy. When my children began school here, at home I don't have a computer and I don't have television because I don't like it. Now I have a little computer. But anyway, when they came to school, they were sitting the whole day playing games on the computer, a year maybe. All day. If they were not playing, they were looking at somebody else playing, all the time. It was so difficult for me, I thought, really, I don't mind them looking at the tree, but not to play all day in this room. And they finished with it, and it gave them something very important. But I say, as a parent, in different ways, it can be very difficult. But it's really, the children go through anything they need to go through. They won't have to do it afterwards, all kinds of things. Some children, they tell us, they report to us that maybe the first years of their school, they were just getting over trauma, or they were just like allowing themselves to get quiet. Sometimes children really tell us that they took it 3, 4, sometimes 5 years just to relax. Sometimes it's all your time you had in school if you began late, but it's so important, because until you do this, anything you do, you are unfree. You are, because you're doing it because of this, because of that, because of this. There was a girl who came, and I teach mathematics, so whatever it is, I do mathematics with children sometimes. So she was coming to me every day with this little thing she bought with all kinds of exercises. And she was like pressing herself to learn, and I have to do this, and I didn't do this page, and I have to do this. And she was like, and I was sitting there each time, and I was saying, hey, I was just there with her all the time. At some point she stopped completely, and she all the time thought, I'm so stupid, I don't know anything, and it took her a few years, and a few years later she suddenly began to learn biology, history. She's very, very, very interested in these things. She suddenly realized that she's really interested. It's not that she has to do it, and she's learning dance. She's a very talented girl, but she said that all the first years in school, she wasn't, it was as if she was like retarded, I would sit with her on, 100 plus 200. The next day she didn't know how to do it. Really simple things. She was like really, really not working, in her head. And she said the first years in school, I was getting over all kinds of emotional problems that I had from my home, from my parents, all kinds of things she went through as a child. She said I wasn't available for learning. I was closed. It was as if I was closed. And the school really, because nobody said, yes, try and do it. And we didn't encourage her to go on in this way. We were saying, you can do it, you can also not do it. At some point she just stopped. And after a few years she could suddenly, really feel what she wants, what she is. She really needed the time. So I really believe in any age that if you go with what you're feeling, then you get, you get where you have to get to, never on the other against. So I think we go in this school all the way to this place, to really, really let the child to make mistakes, don't do anything, whatever, do. So this is how I see it. I don't leave the school, yes, very often. Sometimes they leave, usually at around, let's say, 14, 15, but not children who are there from the beginning. Maybe they'll come about 12 and then leave at 14 when they've been like rested and they still think, you know, they should have learned, so they'll go to a school where they'll only be teaching the exams or something. So they got something from the school. They didn't get the whole, you know, they missed something. But I feel okay with it, you know. We take what you need.